Sunlight streamed in from the classroom windows, making the mathematical formulas on the blackboard shine. Haoran sat in the corner seat in the second-to-last row, staring at the quadratic equation in the textbook, but his mind was like a stuck computer, unable to move. He secretly raised his head, looked past the backs of several classmates' heads, and landed on that familiar smile. Xia Lan was chatting in a low voice with the girl in the front row. Her hair was tied into a ponytail. When she smiled, her eyes turned into crescent moons, as if the whole classroom was lighting up. "Hey, Haoran, are you in a daze again?" Lu Feng next to him poked his arm with a pen. His voice was low, but with a hint of a smirk. "Are you peeking at the class beauty again?" Haoran was startled and quickly looked away, his cheeks feeling slightly hot. No way. I was just thinking about the topic." He lowered his head and pretended to write notes, but his heart was in a mess. He has been secretly in love with Xia Lan for almost 2 years. From the day he registered as a freshman in high school, she has become the brightest star in his eyes. Every club activity, her brisk pace when running on the playground, her confident tone when she raised her hand to answer questions in class, and even the way she shared snacks with friends during lunch break, made Haoran's heart beat faster. But what about him? An introverted nerd who had to work up the courage for a long time to even say one more word. Lu Feng rolled his eyes and moved closer. Come on, I can tell by the look in your eyes. Dude, opportunity waits for no one. Xia Lan is so lively. If you don't take action, what if someone else takes the lead? A guy like Zhao Gang, who shows off his power in the class all day long, might be targeting her. Haoran's heart sank. Zhao Gang's name was like a thorn. He is the little bully in the class, with a strong physique, and always loves to make trouble for weaker classmates. Last week I heard that he blocked the skinny boy from the next class in the toilet and forced him to pay pocket money. Haoran shook his head, trying to get rid of those bad images. How dare I? She is so powerful, how can she be worthy of someone like me? Whether you are worthy or not, you have to try to know. Lu Feng patted his shoulder, his voice full of passion. Remember the school anniversary in the first year of high school? She also helped you pick up the water bottle that fell on the ground, and said with a smile, "Be careful." Isn't that a hint? Brother, be brave, pass a note to her, and tell her what you think. Anonymous is fine, just explore the road first. Haoran bit his lip. Xia Lan's face appeared in his mind. The sweet and sour feeling came back, like eating an unripe mango, sweet but astringent. He imagined walking up to him, stammering what was on his mind, only to get stuck on the high step. Why does she become so clumsy every time I see her? Is it because I am a guy who doesn't like to be in the limelight? The bell in the classroom rang, class was over, and the students began to whisper, but Haoran was still stuck in his own little world. During lunch break, Haoran and Lu Feng walked to the pavilion next to the playground together. The weather in Taiwan in May is sultry, and the air is filled with the green smell of lawn and the smell of bento from afar. On the playground, a group of boys were playing football, while the girls on the side of the field were chatting in groups, laughing. Xia Lan was not far away. She was wearing a short-sleeved school uniform and holding a notebook. She was sitting on the stairs with 2 of her best friends, discussing club affairs while eating. Look, she's smiling again. Lu Feng pushed Haoran, his tone sounded like he was planning a war. Haoran, walk over now and pretend to ask how the homework goes. Haoran's heart was pounding and his palms were sweating. He took a deep breath, took a step, but stopped. Countless images flashed through my mind. What if she said the wrong thing and she smiled awkwardly and walked away? What if she already has someone she likes? Those little annoyances buzzed like mosquitoes and made him shrink back. Forget it, next time. He murmured, turned around and sat back on the stone bench of the pavilion. Lu Feng sighed and handed him a bottle of green tea bought from the vending machine. You are just too hesitant. How can there be so many perfect opportunities in life? It's like a ball on the playground. You won't know whether it will go in until you kick it out. Xia Lan is such a nice person, he won't laugh at you. Haoran took the green tea, and the cold bottle made him sober up. He looked at the classmates running on the playground, and their youthful vitality seemed to be mocking his timidity. There are always so many little worries in the class: exam pressure, club rehearsals, and occasional friendship frictions. But Xia Lan's existence is like a ray of sunshine, making these worries less heavy. He had a crush on her, not only because of her beauty, but also because of her kindness. Last time the class was cleaned, she took the initiative to help Haoran share the window cleaning work, although he only dared to say thank you at that time. The afternoon class started again. This time it was Chinese language class. The teacher read ancient poems on the podium, and there was a lazy atmosphere in the classroom. Haoran tried to concentrate on the lecture, but still couldn't help but glance sideways at Xia Lan. She was copying notes carefully, occasionally frowning in thought, looking very cute. Lu Feng passed a note below, which read, "Act. Otherwise, I will help you pass a love letter." Haoran almost laughed out loud and quickly rubbed away the note. The inner struggle came again: be brave, or retreat. As the poem says, there will be times when the wind breaks through the waves. But now he can't even get over the small waves. Suddenly, the teacher clapped his hands and the classroom became quiet. "Students, there is a new transfer student in our class today. Please welcome us." A girl walked in the door, carrying a school bag and bowing her head slightly. The teacher introduced, "This is Lin Yuan, who was transferred from Kaohsiung. Please take good care of her." The class immediately became lively, with some applauding and others whispering. Xia Lan was the first to raise her hand and said with a smile, "Welcome. Yuan, sit next to me. The view here is good." Lin Yuan nodded and walked over with a blushing face. The atmosphere in the class instantly became warm. The boys started to make noises, and the girls asked all kinds of questions. Lu Feng leaned into Haoran's ear and whispered, "Look, the new guy is here and the class is more lively. Why don't you take action?" Haoran watched Xia Lan chatting enthusiastically with the newcomer, and the scene made his heart move. Perhaps, this is the beginning. The sourness in his heart gradually turned into a warmth. He clenched his pen and a bold idea flashed through his mind: anonymous desk notes. Yes, just start with a small piece of paper and write down the thoughts that have been hidden for 2 years. He didn't know if she would respond, but at least, he tried to take the first step. The bell rang, and Haoran's heartbeat accelerated. He took out a small piece of paper from the drawer, hesitated for a moment, and started writing on it. Amidst the noise in the classroom, this small decision sprouted quietly like a seed. Haoran's hand trembled slightly, and the pen tip drew the first word on the note. The noise in the classroom has not completely dissipated. The students are chatting in 2s and 3s, some are passing water glasses, and some are playing with their mobile phones with their heads down. Lin Yuan had just sat down and was quietly introducing the rules of the class to Xia Lan. Xia Lan's laughter was as clear as a bell. Haoran took a deep breath, and Lu Feng's words echoed in his mind: "Be brave, start with a small piece of paper." He gritted his teeth and quickly wrote, "Xia Lan, your smile is like the summer sunshine, which makes people want to look at you more, someone who appreciates you." Simple, it's that simple. No signature, no redundant words. He folded the note, his heart beating like a drum. When the teacher turned around to write on the blackboard, he quietly got up from his seat, pretended to pick something up, and slipped to Xia Lan's desk. Her drawers were half open, stuffed with colorful post-it notes and a book of club notes. Haoran's heart was in his throat, and no one around him noticed. He quickly stuffed the note in, and then slipped back to his seat like a thief. Lu Feng caught a glimpse of this scene, his eyes lit up. He came over and whispered, "Fuck. Did you really do it? Tell me, what did you write?" Haoran blushed and shook his head, lowering his voice, "Don't make trouble, wait until she finds out." He pretended to read the textbook, but couldn't help but glance at Xia Lan. The Chinese language class continued. The teacher was talking about Li Bai's poems, his voice was ups and downs, but Haoran's mind was filled with that piece of paper. Will she throw it away as trash? Or will she laugh at me for being naive? These thoughts were buzzing like mosquitoes, making him restless. As soon as the bell rang, Xia Lan stretched, took out the kettle from the drawer, and rummaged through the things. Suddenly, her hand stopped, picked up the folded piece of paper, and frowned slightly. The students in the classroom began to pack their school bags, some shouted to go to the playground, and some discussed the cram school in the evening. Xia Lan opened the note and took a look, a trace of confusion flashed across her face. She turned her head and looked around, but found nothing strange. Then she raised the corners of her mouth slightly, revealing a shallow smile. That smile was like a spring breeze blowing on his face, making Haoran's heart skip a beat. He quickly lowered his head and pretended to clean the table, but there was a warmth in his heart. She was not angry, at least, a little curious. "Hey, Xia Lan, what's that? A love letter?" Xiao Wei, a girl in the front row, came over, her eyes blinking, full of gossip. Xia Lan quickly stuffed the note back into the drawer and shook her head with a smile. "No, it's just a small note saying that I have a nice smile." "Who is so boring?" Her tone was brisk, but her eyes were a little confused. Xiao Wei giggled. "Ha, the secret love expert in the class has appeared. Could it be that one? Like Xiao Gang, writing love letters is quite romantic." Xia Lan rolled her eyes at her. "Don't guess, Zhao just wouldn't write such disgusting things. He always knows how to show off his power on the playground." Several girls in the class heard it and started whispering. Some guessed it was the basketball captain of the next class, and some said it was the senior in the library. Haoran's face grew hot when he heard this, and he buried his head in silence, but his heart was filled with joy. It turns out that such small actions can make her think more. Lu Feng poked him at the side, as excited as if he had won the lottery. "It's done." "Did she laugh?" "Man, this is a good sign. Next, write the second one and talk about how you were fascinated by her club performance." Haoran pushed his hand away and whispered, "Keep your voice down, don't let anyone hear you." But he couldn't help but laugh. During the afternoon break, the two of them hid by the water fountain at the end of the corridor. Lu Feng took out a few small notes from his pocket and stuffed them into him. "Come on, plan it out. The first one is the opening statement, and the second one is about your memories. For example, in the club activities in the first year of high school, when your eyes met when she was dancing, and the kind of heartbeat you made, write it in. Make sure she is excited." Haoran took the note and leaned against the wall, with those details in his mind. The club in the first year of high school was recruiting new students. Xia Lan was in the publicity group. She was handing out flyers on the playground, her ponytail swaying in the sunshine. Haoran originally just wanted to sign up for the photography club, but was drawn by her enthusiasm to help move props. That day, they were sorting out posters at the gymnasium together. She suddenly turned her head, met his eyes, and said with a smile, "Haoran, you have good photography skills, can you help us take event photos next time?" At that moment, his heart felt like an electric shock, and he stuttered, "Okay, okay." From then on, every time the club rehearsed, he would find excuses to look at her more, but never dared to say a word. "Look, this is an opportunity." Lu Feng patted him on the shoulder. "Don't hesitate anymore. Write your sincerity. Just like mangoes in Taiwan, they are sour and sweet, so they are delicious." Haoran nodded and held the pen tightly. This time, he sat in the back row of the lecture theater and wrote quickly as the self-study class began. "Do you remember the club activities? Your smile when you handed out flyers made me feel for the first time that high school life is so interesting. Thank you for making ordinary days brighter. The same admirer." He did not mention eye contact for fear of being too obvious, but those memories gave his handwriting a touch of tenderness. On the playground, the afternoon sun shines on the green lawn. The students are like liberated birds, running, chatting and chasing. Haoran and Lu Feng were sitting on the bench under the basketball hoop, eating guabao bought from the convenience store. In the distance, Xia Lan, Lin Yuyan, and Xiao Wei walked over together. They chatted while walking. Lin Yuyan was not used to it yet and always lowered her head and smiled. Xia Lan patted her back. "Yuyan, don't be nervous, everyone here is very nice. A quiet boy like Haoran, super reliable, the club even helped me fix the lights last time." Haoran almost choked when he heard his name, while Lu Feng suppressed laughter beside him and almost spit out his gizzard. Did you hear that? She remembers you. Lu Feng whispered. Haoran coughed twice and pretended to be fine, but his heart was in turmoil. Does she remember me? The lighting repair was during the rehearsal for the anniversary of the second year of high school. He climbed up the ladder clumsily, and the light bulb fell. Xia Lan was holding on underneath and said with a smile, Haoran, are you performing acrobatics? Be careful, don't fall. Her hand touched his arm lightly, and the touch still reminded him of it to this day. It turned out that she had not forgotten those small interactions. Hey, what are you talking about? Xia Lan suddenly approached, holding a book and smiling. Lin Yuan followed behind and waved shyly. Lu Feng reacted quickly and said immediately, nothing, just discussing club matters. Haoran, didn't you say you have a photography assignment next week? Haoran was stunned, nodded and said, yes, help take event photos. Xia Lan's eyes widened. Liang, great. Then you can come to the publicity team to help. Yuyan has also joined us. We are short of manpower. She turned to Lin Yuyan and said, the photos taken by Haoran are great. The team from the last school anniversary was selected by the teacher to report to the school. Lin Yuyan blushed and nodded, thank you. I will try my best. Haoran's heart was pounding, but he tried to be calm on the surface, no problem, I will try my best. Xia Lan smiled and waved, it's settled. Let's go, Yuyan, let's go to the classroom to get something. They walked away, and Lu Feng immediately turned around and said excitedly, look. She took the initiative to find you, this is a godsend opportunity. Write the third one quickly, mention the club, and create some small connections. Haoran looked at their backs, and the hesitation in his heart slowly melted away like melted ice cream. He always felt that he was not worthy. How could he, who was introverted, be worthy of such a dazzling girl? But now, this little bit of bravery made him think that maybe he could give it a try. Just like the wind on the playground, it blows away the sweltering heat and brings fresh air. Speculations in the class continued. Some said the note was written by Lu Feng, while others speculated that the newcomer Lin Yuyan was playing a prank. But Xia Lan didn't say much. She just touched the drawer occasionally, with a hint of curiosity in her eyes. After the self-study class, Haoran inserted a second note. This time, he added, looking forward to the next club meeting. The classroom lights were dim and the sun was setting outside the window. The students packed their school bags and prepared to go home. When Xia Lan discovered it, she smiled slightly and put the note into her notebook without letting others see it. But when her eyes swept across the classroom, they seemed to stay in Haoran's direction for a second longer. Haoran didn't notice that he was discussing the content of the next picture with Lu Feng, and the seed in his heart grew bigger and bigger. Before self-study in the evening, while catching up on homework, Lu Feng took Haoran to the toilet to smoke, pretending of course, just chatting at the door. Brother, you have changed. You used to hide when you heard Xia Lan, but now you dare to pass the note. Next, write something more personal, such as the way she looks when she eats the dumplings, how cute she is. Haoran smiled and shook his head, you have a beautiful idea, I am not that bold yet. But he knew that this little bravery was changing him little by little. The night lights on the campus are on, and the drums of the club can be heard in the distance. The rhythm of youth beats quietly in these little things. Haoran returned to his seat, took out the third piece of paper, and the pen tip started moving again. The image of Xia Lan sharing snacks at the playground flashed through her mind. She handed over a candy and said, Haoran, try this, it's a Taiwan exclusive, super sweet. The sweetness is still on the tip of your tongue. He smiled and began to write, your little actions always make people feel warm. Haoran's hand stopped on the note and he wrote the last sentence in a crooked handwriting, your little actions always make people feel warm. I hope you are happy every day. He folded the note and the self-study class in the classroom continued. The teacher lowered his head in front of him to correct his homework. Some students were lying on their stomachs to take a nap and some were checking their mobile phones. Haoran's heart was beating like a drum, and when no one was paying attention, he sneaked to Xia Lan's seat again. This time he took a closer look at her drawer, where sticky notes were piled up in a mess, like her lively character. He stuffed the note inside, feeling like he'd dropped a little bomb, and scurried back, his face as red as a boiled shrimp. Lu Feng snickered beside him, leaned over and whispered, "Is this the third one? What's the disgusting thing written in it? Could it be the way her mouth bulged when she was eating the dumplings?" Haoran glared at him and whispered back, "Shut up, what do you know? This is serious." Lu Feng shrugged. Shrugging, eyes full of excitement, "Be serious, buddy. You see, you are a lot more courageous now. You used to stutter when you heard her name, but now you actually send 3 messages in a row. Keep going, maybe she will reply to you." Haoran shook his head, but he was a little expecting in his heart. Will it? Would a cheerful girl like her be interested in anonymous notes? The next morning, the classroom was filled with the aroma of breakfast. Some people were nibbling egg pancakes and others were sharing soy milk. As soon as Haoran entered the door, he glanced at Xia Lan's seat. She has arrived and is chatting with Lin Yuyan. Lin Yuyan is still a little cautious with a new life, her hair is tied into a low ponytail, and she smiles a little shyly. Xia Lan handed her a pack of snacks. "Yuyan, try this Taiwan Limited jelly grass jelly, it's super thirst-quenching." "You're welcome, everyone here is a friend." Lin Yuyan blushed and took it. "Thank you, Xia Lan, you are so kind. I just transferred here and I'm not used to it yet." Haoran sat down and pretended to look through her school bag, focusing entirely on her drawers. Early self-study begins, the teacher completes roll call, and the students begin to chat quietly. Suddenly, Xia Lan took out a piece of paper from the drawer, looked at it, and a familiar smile appeared at the corner of her mouth. She looked around but found nothing, then lowered her head and started writing on another piece of paper. Haoran's heart was raised. What is she doing? Doing homework? Or not? When the bell rang, Xia Lan got up and went to the toilet, and Lin Yuyan followed her. Haoran couldn't wait any longer, so he took the opportunity to sneak over, pretending to look for something, and caught a glimpse of a folded note from the edge of her drawer, sandwiched in a notebook. His mind became hot, and he stretched out his hand to pull it out, his heart beating so fast that it felt like it was going to explode. When I opened it, I saw Zhuanxiu's handwriting on it. "Thank you for your words," which made me feel much better. I have been under a lot of pressure recently. I am in my senior year of high school, and the mock exams always have red lights, and I feel like I can't hold on anymore. Your note is like a little surprise, cheering me up. Curious replier. Haoran's eyes widened and he almost screamed. He quickly stuffed it back and slipped back into his seat, his head buzzing. Lu Feng saw him like that and immediately came over. "What's wrong? Your face looks like a ghost. Is there anything going on in the note?" Haoran lowered his voice and stuttered with excitement. She responded to me. She said the classwork was stressful and she encouraged me." Lu Feng's eyes lit up and he patted his shoulder. "Wow! It's done! This is a two-way interaction. You have to respond to her and say some words of encouragement. For example, you can do it if you work so hard, just like mango ice, it will be sweet after the hardship. Ha, Taiwanese style, make sure she laughs." Haoran nodded, feeling warm in his heart. It turns out that she also has troubles. If you are not the kind of class girl who is always happy, you will also be under a lot of pressure. He always felt that he was not good enough for her. How could he understand her world as an introvert? But now, this note is like a bridge, making him feel for the first time that we are closer to each other. He took out a new note and hid in the corner of the library during lunch break to write, "I understand you said it was stressful. Who doesn't panic in the senior year of high school? But you are always so sunny, and you will get better when you help others. Come on, I believe in you, your admirer." After writing, he added, "If you want to chat, the note is waiting for you at any time." This was the first time he opened up his heart, not just praise, but concern. During the afternoon club time, the class became lively. Lu Feng suddenly stood on the podium and clapped his hands to attract everyone's attention. "Hey, classmates. New classmate Lin Yuyan is here. Welcome. Yuyan is a transfer from the south. She likes painting and listening to music. Come on, introduce yourself. Lin Yuyan stepped forward with a blushing face and said in a low voice, Hello everyone, I am Lin Yuyan. Please give me some advice. I hope I can integrate in quickly. The class immediately applauded, and someone shouted, Welcome. Come sit next to me. Xia Lan smiled and waved from below, Yuyan, come to the cultural and publicity team, let's make posters together. Haoran, come and help take photos. Haoran nodded, feeling happy. This guy Lu Feng, who usually teases him, is quite good at warming up the situation at critical moments. In the clubroom, students were huddled together, and papers and paints were scattered everywhere. Xia Lan took Lin Yuyan to draw posters and chatted while drawing, Yuyan, the lines you draw are so delicate, like a professional. When you are stressed, you draw to relax. I failed the exam last time, so I went for a run on the playground. Phone as soon as I blew it, I forgot all about it. Lin Yuyan smiled, Really? You always look so comfortable. Xia Lan shook her head, No, I'm just pretending. A note like that makes my heart warm, and I feel like someone understands. Haoran set up a camera next to him and felt his face heat up. He took a few photos of them, and Xia Lan suddenly turned around, Haoran, take a big one for us. Yuyan, come here, pose. Lin Yuyan made a shy V sign, and Xia Lan hugged her shoulders and laughed. At that moment, the sun poured in from the window and shone on their faces. Haoran pressed the shutter and thought, this is youth, lively and warm. He used to always hide in the corner, but now he took the initiative and said, It's done. Take a look. Does it look like an idol drama? After the club ended, Haoran and Lu Feng walked in the corridor, and the sunset stretched their shadows. Lu Feng suddenly said, Hey, I heard that Zhao Gang is bullying people again. Yesterday at the toilet, he robbed a junior student's money, saying it was protection money. The kid ran away crying, and no one dared to care. Haoran paused, feeling a twinge of discomfort in his heart. That guy Zhao Gang is as strong as a bear and shows off his power on the playground all day long. He recalled that in his first year of high school, Zhao Gang pushed a thin classmate. The scene still made him roll over at night. A sense of justice surged in my heart, can't we just look at it like this? But when he thought of Zhao Gang's fist, he hesitated again. Really? Why didn't anyone call the police? Lu Feng shrugged, Who dares? Teachers are busy, and students are afraid of trouble. Haoran, aren't you becoming brave? Maybe you should take care of it. Haoran shook his head, feeling confused. He was used to being introverted and always felt that his arms and legs were small. How could he fight against that kind of person? But Xia Lan's smile flashed in my mind. She was so kind. What if Zhao Gang targeted her? A few days ago, Xiao Wei guessed that the note was written by Zhao Gang. Although Xia Lan denied it, Haoran always had a shadow in his heart. This incident was like a thorn in his path of growth, making him think, being brave is not only about chasing love, but also having to face these bad things. Going home at night, Haoran lay on the bed and thought about today's note interaction. Xia Lan's reply made him feel for the first time that he didn't have a one-sided crush, but that there was a connection. He turned over, took out her note from his bag, and touched the handwriting lightly. Stressed? She will be tired too. Perhaps, with the next note, he could share his little troubles. For example, in high school mathematics, I always get stuck and feel like my head is going to explode. In this way, will she feel that he is more real? During morning self-study the next day, Haoran inserted a new note. This time, he wrote a little more, I'm also under pressure. I always fail in the math test. But seeing your efforts, I want to tell you that we will get through it together. See you in the club. When he slipped back to his seat, Xia Lan happened to come in, holding hands with Lin Yuyan and laughing. She sat down and took out his last one from the drawer. After reading it, she lowered her head and started writing again. Haoran pretended to read a book, but his eyes couldn't help but glance over. At that moment, My heart beat like bubbles, coming out of my chest, sweet and itchy. During lunch break, Lu Feng took him to the playground to eat lunch. "Brother, how's the note battle going?" Haoran said with a smile. She came back again and said she wanted to hear my story. Lu Feng whistled. "It's progressing very fast. Keep going, but don't forget about Zhao Gang. I heard that he blocked people at the back door again today." Haoran nodded, and the hesitation in his heart was like clouds, erratic. But he knew that this test of youth was pushing him forward little by little. In the distance, Xia Lan and Lin Yuyan were chatting under the basketball hoop. The wind blew their skirts, and the energy of the campus continued to sound like an unfinished song. Lu Feng took a bite of the rice ball, narrowed his eyes and stared at Xia Lan and Lin Yuyan in the distance. "Hey, Haoran, look at them, they look like sisters." Not long after Yuyan arrived, she was dragged into a lively chat by Xia Lan. "What about you? The note war is still going on, right? She said she wanted to hear your story. Isn't this an obvious invitation?" Haoran swallowed the braised pork rice in his mouth, and his mind was still recollecting the scene just now. Xia Lan's skirt swayed gently in the wind, like a cloud in the wind. He nodded and lowered his voice. "Yeah, her replies are getting longer and longer. Last time she wrote, 'Your words make me feel not alone. The pressure of senior year is like heavy rain, but it's good to have you as an umbrella. Tell me, how do you cope with math? I don't even know how to answer it.'" Lu Feng patted him on the back, almost spitting out rice grains. "Idiot, this is your chance. Write and say that you always think of her smile as motivation when solving problems. Make sure she blushes." Haoran glared at him, but felt sweet in his heart. Excitement rushed up from the soles of my feet like a stream of heat, but it was mixed with a little panic. What if she guessed it was him? Although his handwriting has been practiced, wouldn't his hesitant strokes be exposed? "Feng, do you think she will be suspicious? There are only a few boys in the class who dare to write such disgusting things." Lu Feng shrugged and smiled crookedly. "If you doubt it, be doubtful and be brave. Brother, I have an idea. The club has a school anniversary preparatory activity next week. I will plan a playground poster shooting day for you to be a photographer and get up close. Xia Lan will definitely come, and Yuyan can draw, so you just pretend to be working and chat." Haoran's heartbeat quickened, and the image of Xia Lan looking at the photo closely flashed in his mind. "Really? Then, let me try." He took out a new piece of paper, sneaked back to the classroom at the end of the lunch break and stuffed it into her drawer. This time he wrote more honestly. "When I got stuck in math, I thought that there are so many unsolvable problems in life, but people who work hard like you will always find the exit. My secret is to listen to old songs to relax. I recommend you try Jay Chou's Daoxiang, a Taiwanese flavor. After listening to it, you want to go home and eat mom's food. Your supporter." After writing, he felt like he had shed a layer of his shell, and he had a short inner monologue. Is this growth? Stop just hiding, start sharing. During the afternoon break, the classroom was noisy. Some people were passing around comics and some were discussing last night's idol drama. Haoran was lowering his head to draw a sketch, when Xia Lan suddenly turned around from his seat and waved. "Haoran, are you coming to the club activity Lu Feng mentioned? Shooting posters in the playground is super fun. Yuyan and I are in charge of the design, and you can help take the photos, okay?" Her eyes were bright and she had 2 dimples when she smiled. Haoran was stunned for a moment and almost dropped the pen on the ground. Okay. I'll bring a camera." He stuttered a little, but he was much better than before. Xia Lan nodded, and when he turned around, he added, "The photos you take always have a feeling, like they can tell a story." Haoran's face was as hot as a roasted sweet potato, and he thought to himself, does she remember me? The magic of this note, or a coincidence? When club time came, Lu Feng, like a little director, led everyone towards the playground. The sun shines on the green lawn, and in the distance there is a basketball club practicing, with banging sounds mixed with laughter. Lin Yuyan brought her painting tools and shyly followed Xia Lan. "Xia Lan, the wind is so strong here, will the poster fly?" Xia Lan laughed and pulled her to sit down. No, we will use clamps to fix it. Haoran, come and help spread the cloth. Haoran walked over carrying the camera, his steps a little chaotic. Lu Feng winked at the side, leaned in and whispered, the opportunity has come, buddy. Don't be like a piece of wood. They formed a circle, and Xia Lan and Lin Yuyan began to draw posters with the theme Youth is Immortal, cheers for the school anniversary. Xia Lan chatted while drawing, Yuyan, the school emblem you drew is so cute, like a cartoon version. Haoran, what do you think? Do you want to add some Taiwanese elements, such as a pineapple? Haoran knelt down to look at it and smelled the shampoo smell of her hair, a faint mango fragrance. Okay. Pineapple represents sweetness, and it suits you two just right. He regretted it as soon as he said it. Isn't it too straightforward? Xia Lan blinked and laughed. Haoran, you talk a lot today. I usually see you being quiet, but you are so talkative inside. Lin Yuyan also blushed and snickered. Yes, I feel like you are like a hidden poet. In the awkward atmosphere, Haoran scratched his head in embarrassment, but his heart was as sweet as eating grass jelly. He pressed the shutter to capture the moment they were painting. It's done. Take a look. Does it look like you're filming MV? Xia Lan came over and lightly touched his with her shoulder. The heat came through and made his mind go blank. Wow, so beautiful. Haoran, your hands are steady. My smile looks so natural in the photo. Thank you. Her praise was like a gust of wind, blowing away his nervousness. He plucked up the courage and replied, actually, I like to take pictures of these real moments. You are here, and the campus feels alive. Xia Lan nodded, her eyes shining. Yes, the senior year of high school is stressful, but with these little things, I just want to hold on. Recently, someone wrote me a note and said that I was in a good mood. I don't know who it was, but I feel like I know a friend. Haoran's heart skipped a beat and panic surged over him. Exposed? Was she staring at him? But she just smiled and turned around to continue painting. Lu Feng was holding back laughter and almost coughed. Haoran was relieved, but excited. She became more and more enthusiastic. She not only thanked her in reply, but also started to share her daily life. Just then, there was a noise in the distance. Beside the playground, Zhao Gang and several followers gathered around a junior boy. The boy was thin and huddled up holding his school bag. Zhao Gang stretched out his big hand, grabbed his kettle, shook it and said, Hey kid, such an expensive thermos bottle is for my buddies. Have you paid the protection fee? The boy's voice trembled. I just gave it last week. Please give it back to me. Zhao Gang laughed and threw it to the follower, take it to play with, or smash it. Haoran was stunned and almost dropped the camera in his hand. Zhao Gang's laughter was rough, like a wild beast roaring. He thought of what Lu Feng said, and the sense of justice in his heart sprang up like a fire. Can't we just look at it like this? The boy's eyes were red, like his freshman year in high school, who had nowhere to say anything after being pushed down. But he couldn't move, and Zhao Gang's fist flashed in his mind, as did the cowering looks in his class. Haoran, what are you looking at? Xia Lan noticed and followed his line of sight. Oh, is that Zhao Gang making trouble again? It's really annoying. Why doesn't the teacher care? Lin Yuyan whispered, I heard that he bullies freshmen. It's so scary. Haoran opened his mouth to say something, but his throat was dry and he finally chose to remain silent. He turned his head and pretended to adjust the camera, but his heart was in turmoil. Why don't you go up? Isn't bravery only for those you like? Or is he not qualified enough? Lu Feng came over, patted him on the shoulder, and whispered, Did you see that? Someone should take care of that kind of person. Haoran, you have become so bold recently that you dare to pass notes. Why did this matter shrink? Haoran bit his lip and said in his heart, I'm scared, but I'm also angry. Why is the road to growth so difficult? Feng. I don't know. If you mess with him, you and Xia Lan will be in trouble. Lu Feng shook his head. Brother, friendship means pushing each other. Take your time, but don't hide forever. The activity continued and the poster gradually took shape. Xia Lan suddenly took out a piece of paper from her bag, read it, then folded it and stuffed it back. "Hey, why did this note get into my bag?" she said to herself. Her voice was not loud, but Haoran heard it. It turned out that he stuffed his stuff in the wrong place at noon. Lin Yuyan came closer curiously. "What note? A love letter?" Xia Lan smiled and shook her head. "No, it was encouraged anonymously. I heard Jay Cho relax, and I happened to like listening to Dao Xiang. But it was windy just now, maybe others saw it." Haoran's face turned white. Misunderstanding. What if someone from Zhao Gang picks it up? The easy misunderstanding was like a small commotion, which made him even more panicked, but Xia Lan didn't think much and turned to him and said, "Haoran, do you listen to Jay Cho? Recommend a song to me." He breathed a sigh of relief and smiled awkwardly. Simple Love. If you just like it, it's good." Xia Lan's eyes lit up. "It sounds good. I'll show it to everyone in the club next time." Their conversation was like the wind on the playground, blowing gently, sweet and a little tense. Lu Feng blinked beside him, and his friendship was like a backing, making Haoran feel that he was not alone. But the shadow of Zhao Gang still lingers in his heart. That little incident, like a pebble, stirred up waves in his heart. At the end of the event, as the sun set, everyone packed up. Xia Lan waved goodbye. "Haoran, thank you today. Send me the photo." Haoran nodded, feeling panic and excitement mixed in his heart. The note was enthusiastic, but the risk of exposure was also greater. What will happen tomorrow? The next day, during morning self-study, Haoran entered the classroom and saw Xia Lan taking out his note from the drawer. After reading it, he lowered his head and wrote a reply. Her handwriting is becoming more and more skillful, like chatting with old friends. He sat down, took a peek, and his heart began to beat again. But the image of Zhao Gang grabbing the kettle flashed in his mind, making him clench his fists. Lu Feng handed over a pack of snacks. "Eat it to replenish your courage." "Dude, let's find a solution for Zhao Gang's matter." Haoran nodded, feeling that although the pace of growth was slow, it was moving forward steadily. The campus bell rang, the class continued, and the melody of youth quietly rotated in my heart. The bell rang, and the noise of morning self-study gradually subsided, leaving only the sound of turning books and occasional whispers in the classroom. Haoran sat on his seat and couldn't help but glance at Xia Lan. She had just folded the note and stuffed it into the drawer, with a slight smile hanging on her lips, as if she was reminiscing about some dessert. Haoran's heartbeat was swinging with the pendulum. Last night, he wrote a new note, mustering up the courage to add some personal elements. "When listening to Dao Xiang, I always think of the mango tree on campus, with a sour and sweet feeling, like the days of senior high school. Your smile also has that kind of smell. Tell me, where's your favorite campus corner?" He bit the pen and thought, is this too explicit this time? If she thought of his usual silence, she would be fooled. Lu Feng came over from the back row and threw an eraser at his shoulder. "Hey, why are you in a daze?" Xia Lan's eyes lit up when she read the note just now. "You, an anonymous fan, are like her little sunshine." Haoran was startled and quickly lowered his head to pretend to read, his face as red as a cooked shrimp. "Keep your voice down, Feng. I didn't sleep well all night about what you said about Zhao Gang last night. I heard that he specializes in picking out newcomers. Lin Yan has just arrived. What if it's her turn?" Lu Feng frowned and lowered his voice. "Yeah, I heard from the basketball club my buddy said that Zhao Gang blocked a high school freshman again on the playground yesterday, grabbed his cell phone and threatened to take ugly photos. Someone has to come forward for this kind of thing on campus. You have been so bold recently, and the notes are flying around. Why don't you try to control him?" Haoran's heart sank, and the scene of Zhao Gang grabbing the kettle yesterday flashed in his mind. The little boy's trembling sound was like a needle piercing his chest. His introverted personality has made him accustomed to hiding in corners since he was a child, watching others being bullied but unable to speak. When he was a freshman in high school, he himself was pushed once by Zhao Gang. The homework books in his school bag were scattered on the floor. Everyone laughed at him for being unlucky. He only dared to lower his head to pick it up and never resisted. I'm afraid of hurting everyone. A kind-hearted person like Xia Lan will definitely be worried if he knows that I am causing trouble. Lu Feng patted his back and smiled like an old man. Worried? That proves that she cares about you, idiot. Come on, let me share a story. When I was in junior high school, I chased the girl in the next class. I was so timid that my first love letter was turned into a mathematical proof. The result, she replied, "Your logic is wrong, but your intention is right." Later, I risked my life and called her name in public. Although the whole school laughed, she still agreed. Pursuing love is like playing a game. Upgrading depends on courage. Haoran, your introversion is not a flaw, but your depth. Try to take a step forward. Haoran's throat moved, and Lu Feng's words were like a warm current, diluting a bit of panic. He nodded and had a brief inner monologue. Maybe, he is right. Introversion allows me to observe things delicately, but it also makes me miss a lot. The first period in the afternoon was physical education class. Everyone changed into sportswear. Haoran and Lu Feng walked in the corridor and discussed how to respond to Xia Lan's note. Suddenly, Xia Lan caught up from behind and pulled Haoran's sleeve while panting. "Haoran! Wait, I have something to ask you." Her ponytail swayed while running, and her cheeks were as red as ripe strawberries. Haoran was so frightened that he almost stumbled and his heart was pounding. What's the matter?" Xia Lan took out the piece of paper from her pocket and waved it. "That's it. The anonymous person's handwriting feels so familiar to me. There are only a few boys in the class. Have you listened to Jay Chou's songs? Especially Dao Xiang. Is the corner of the campus he wrote about the mango tree behind the playground?" Haoran's head buzzed. "It's over, she guessed it." His palms were sweating, and he stammered, I listen. But the mango tree? A lot of people love it there, it's perfect for taking pictures. Xia Lan squinted and smiled, and came closer, her eyes like a detective. "Really? Have you taken any photos of the club see last time? Bao, you mentioned the sweetness of pineapple, and it feels like your style. Hey, Haoran, aren't you the supporter?" Her tone was half joking and half serious, with a bit of playful tension, which made Haoran take a step back and hit the wall. No. How could I write that kind of disgusting stuff? Haoran waved his hands in a panic, countless excuses flashing through his mind. Lu Feng suppressed laughter at the side and quickly interjected, "Xia Lan, you guessed the wrong person. This guy Haoran blushes even when talking to girls, how can he be an anonymous master? Come on, we are going to be late for physical education class, let's go." But Xia Lan refused and caught up with a giggle. "Wait, I haven't finished asking. Haoran, why are you running? There will be rewards for admitting, let's listen to the song together." Classroom. The corridor instantly turned into a funny chase scene, with Haoran trotting in front, Xia Lan chasing behind, and Lu Feng cheering, "Haoran, don't be a coward. This is a heartbeat moment, grab it." The students poked their heads to watch the excitement, and someone shouted, "The class beauty is chasing Haoran." Wow, what a campus drama. Haoran's heart was like a drum, and there was sweetness in the panic. She is so proactive. Does she like this kind of game? Or do you really doubt him? Finally running to the edge of the playground, Haoran stopped out of breath. Xia Lan also caught up, putting her hands on her knees and laughing. You ran pretty fast. I'm just kidding, I won't force you. But that note is really heartwarming. Thank him, or her. She blinked, turned around and joined the girls' team, leaving Haoran stunned in place. Lu Feng came over and patted him on the shoulder. Did you see that? She wasn't angry, and she was still smiling like this. This is progress. As an introvert, you were so handsome in that chase scene just now. Be more confident, buddy. Haoran touched his chest and felt a warmth welling up. It turns out that if you take the initiative, it won't be so scary. Through her smile, he seemed to see the shell inside him cracking. The physical education class was a free activity. Haoran and Lu Feng were resting under the basketball hoop. Lin Yuyan suddenly ran over with a pale face and whispered, "Haoran, have you heard? Xiao Gang blocked a freshman girl of mine in the cafeteria at noon. The girl was a freshman. She cried and said that he wanted her to pay protection money or else he would spread the news about her family. The teacher didn't seem to care. I was so afraid that he would target me. Haoran's heart sank, and the flames from yesterday were now burning brighter. Xiao Gang's domineering behavior not only steals things, but also involves privacy. This is like a cancer on campus, devouring everyone's sense of security. He clenched his fists and recalled Lu Feng's encouragement, Yuyan, don't be afraid. We will find a way. I will try to say something. Lin Yuyan's eyes lit up, really? Thank you, Haoran. You are usually quiet, but you feel reliable. Lu Feng nodded, leaned in and whispered, yes, let's start with small things. Like that time in my junior high school, I helped her fend off the school gangsters before chasing a girl, and she became even more clingy to me. Haoran, you have a strong sense of justice, don't waste it. Xia Lan also hates Xiao Gang, and she will appreciate it more if you come forward. Haoran's heart was churning. Introversion makes me hesitate, but it also makes me see injustice clearly. Perhaps, growth starts from here, no longer just guarding the sweetness of secret love, but also protecting the people around you. He nodded and said in a firmer voice, well, I'll think about what to do. We can't let him continue to bully the newcomers. During the break, Xia Lan sent another note. This time she wrote longer. Chasing you just now was so fun. I don't mind if the anonymous person is you. Campus corner? I love the bench behind the library. It's quiet there and I can read and relax. What about you? When we meet in the club next time, we will sing Simple Love. Haoran finished reading, his face felt hot. The game has been upgraded, is she hinting? Lu Feng took a peek and said excitedly, wow, she's teasing you. Go back and tell her that you love that bench too, and ask her to go there. Haoran hesitated for a moment and wrote, the bench is good, but the place with you is the best. When listening to the song, imagine us humming together, Simple Love is enough. I'm still your supporter. When he stuffed it into her drawer, his hand became much more steady, and he was as confident as a bud, quietly breaking ground. In the afternoon club, Xia Lan took Lin Yuyan to practice the poster sequel, and Haoran was responsible for recording ideas. As everyone sat around, Xia Lan suddenly played Jay Chou's song, and the classroom was filled with a brisk melody. Come on, Haoran, sing a line. She blinked, and Haoran blushed but did not refuse, singing along in a low voice, just let me say I love you. Although the voice was small, it attracted applause. Xia Lan smiled, not bad. I feel like you have a lot of hidden talents. Lin Yuyan also nodded, yes, Haoran, you are so cheerful today. A sweet atmosphere, like the aroma of mango, filled the air. But in Haoran's mind, the shadow of Xiao Gang is still there. I heard that he blocked people at the back door again in the afternoon, so he had to act quickly. The setting sun shone through the window, and when the club was over, Xia Lan handed Haoran a small piece of paper. See you tomorrow, continue the guessing game? Haoran accepted it with a smile, and the panic in his heart turned into anticipation. Lu Feng whispered beside him, justice and love are both in your hands. Come on, buddy. Haoran nodded and walked out of the classroom briskly. The wind on campus carries the fragrance of flowers, and the rhythm of youth seems to be accelerating. Haoran pushed open the door of the club classroom, and the setting sun lengthened his shadow. The mango trees on the campus swayed gently in the breeze, exuding a light fruity fragrance. He looked down at the small piece of paper handed over by Xia Lan, with beautiful handwriting, see you tomorrow, continue the guessing game? The sweetness in his heart bubbled up like bubbles, and the chase and the club songs last night were still echoing in his ears. He turned to Lu Feng and smiled, Feng, thank you. Today feels different. Lu Feng blinked and patted his shoulder, of course, buddy. Look at Xia Lan's eyes, she is just waiting for you to take the initiative. Go home and think about the next note, and don't hide it anymore. Haoran nodded and walked briskly towards the school gate, already thinking about how to respond to her invitation. At night, Haoran sat in front of his desk, with only the warm light of the desk lamp and the chirping of cicadas outside the window in the room. He stared at the blank note, his pen tips spinning in the air for a long time. In the past, the notes were always roundabout for fear of revealing the truth, but today Lu Feng's words and Xia Lan's smile made him want to try to be more sincere. He took a deep breath and wrote, "Guessing games are fun, but I want to tell you that my favorite campus corner is the place where I can see you smiling. When I'm stressed, I dream of being a photographer and capturing those small blessings, such as the mango tree in my senior year, or the club. What about you? How do you deal with stress? Tell me, maybe I can be your supporter." After writing, his heart beat faster, and he felt like he was taking off his introverted shell. After folding the note and stuffing it into his school bag, he murmured to himself, "Haoran, be brave, this is growth." The next morning, the classroom was filled with the aroma of breakfast bread, and students chatted in small groups before morning self-study. Haoran arrived at school early, quietly stuffed the note into Xia Lan's drawer, and then sat down pretending to be nonchalant. Lu Feng noticed something was wrong as soon as he entered the door, and came over and asked in a low voice, "Hey, did you write last night? Your eyes are sparkling, as if you won the lottery." Haoran blushed and nodded, "Yes, more seriously." "Feng, do you think she will find it too abrupt?" Lu Feng laughed, embarrassed. Giving him a candy, what a surprise. This is called progress. I remember that time in our middle school, when the love letter was turned into a math problem. She replied to me, "I have unlocked your heart. You are bolder now, and my brother is proud of you." Haoran swallowed the candy, and the sweetness melted in his mouth, and the tension in his heart eased a little. The bell rang, and when Xia Lan walked in, her eyes went straight to the drawer. She pulled away and looked, a blush appeared on her face, and the corners of her mouth couldn't help but rise. She turned her head and scanned the classroom, her eyes staying on Haoran for 2 seconds, then lowered her head and started writing a reply. Haoran's heart was beating like a small drum, but on the surface he was immersed in reading. After the morning self-study, Xia Lan suddenly stood up, walked to Haoran's desk, and said softly, "Haoran, can you lend me an eraser?" Haoran handed it over, and accidentally touched her with his finger, and an electric current ran through her. He smiled awkwardly, "Well, use it." Xia Lan took it, leaned closer and whispered, "Thank you. Oh, by the way, I have a new clue for that guessing game." She blinked and left, leaving Haoran with a buzz in his head. Does she know? During the lunch break, Haoran went to buy a lunch box. When passing by the library, he saw Xia Lan sitting on a bench with a piece of paper spread out on his knees. She raised her head to see him and waved, "Haoran. Come and sit, it's cool here." Haoran was stunned for a moment, then walked over and sat down, thinking this was a coincidence, right? Xia Lan handed him the note, her eyes shining. "Look, your supporter wrote again. I read it several times and was so moved. He said he wanted to be a photographer to capture small blessings. It sounded so romantic. When I was under pressure, I dreamed of being admitted to the communication department of National Taiwan University and becoming a news anchor, reporting those heartwarming stories. What about the stress of schoolwork? Listening to Jay Chou's songs, or chatting with friends? What about you? Haoran, do you have a dream?" Haoran's heart was pounding as she shared it with him. It felt like the note game had escalated to face-to-face. He stuttered, I also want to be a photographer and take pictures of the daily life of the campus. When the pressure comes, I will hide under the mango tree and imagine the future. Like you said, reporting on warm things would be great. How do you make a poster with Chinao Storm? Oh, by the way, tell your supporters that when I am stressed, I like to eat pineapple cakes to relieve my boredom. If he is your friend, introduce him to me." Her tone was playful and a little tentative, and Haoran felt that the emotions were like vines, sweet to the extreme. During the afternoon break, Lu Feng took Haoran to the smoking area in the corridor to chat, actually gossip. "Haoran, you and Xia Lan were sitting on the bench for a long time today, and your face turned red as a monkey's butt. Did you enjoy playing the note game? Looking at your eyes, it's really enlightening. You used to be introverted and invisible, but now you dare to look directly into her eyes. I have to celebrate this progress. Come, let me treat you to braised pork rice tonight. Haoran shook his head and smiled. Fong, don't make trouble. We were just talking about dreams. She said she wanted to be a host, and I think she is great. After sharing the pressure, I feel that we are closer. Lu Feng nodded and became serious. Yes, this is growth. I remember that when I chased girls, I started by sharing small things. Love is not only sweet, but also has depth. Now you are not only secretly in love, but you are also connected to Zhao Gang, but enjoy this moment first. Confidence is like sunshine shining into his heart. When classmates pass by, someone taps him on the shoulder. Haoran, you have been so active recently. The club is cool. The mutual help atmosphere on campus makes him feel that he is not alone. Everyone's small support is like an invisible network, supporting him to move forward. But the sweetness didn't last long. The last period of the afternoon was self-study. Haoran went to the toilet to wash his hands. When he opened the door of the men's toilet, he heard a low threatening voice coming from inside. Hey, kid, are you new here? Bring your phone and take a photo as a souvenir. Otherwise, I will tell the whole school about your family, understand? Haoran's heart sank. Zhao Gang's voice. He caught a glimpse from the crack of the door and saw Zhao Gang's strong figure blocking a thin boy from the first year of high school. The boy's face was pale and he held out his mobile phone tremblingly, his eyes full of fear. Zhao Gang grabbed the phone and laughed loudly. Be good, this is the right thing. If the protection fee is paid next week, if you save $1, I will send your photo to the class. Haoran froze on the spot. Lin Yuyan's worry and Lu Feng's encouragement flashed through his mind. He clenched his fists and wanted to rush in and shout stop, but his legs felt like they were nailed to the ground. Introverted fear surged up. What if Zhao Gang turns around and hits me? Worried about causing Xia Lan to suffer? The humiliation of being pushed that time in the first year of high school was stirring in my chest again. He gritted his teeth and chose to turn around and sneak away, running back to the classroom in a panic. Returning to his seat, Haoran buried his head at the table, feeling a flood of self-blame in his heart. Why aren't you brave? That boy looked like himself back then, so helpless that it made people feel distressed. Why can a moment of sweetness make justice shrink? Lu Feng noticed something strange about him, came over and asked, what's wrong? His face is so bad. Haoran shook his head and whispered, Feng, I saw Zhao Gang bullying the freshman in the toilet. He threatened to take pictures and ask for protection money. I ran away without making a sound. Lu Feng frowned and patted him on the back. Hey, it's normal to witness it for the first time. But self-blame is good, it proves that you are righteous. Don't worry, start from the small step, tell the teacher or find someone to help you. Xia Lan hates this kind of thing, she will support you. Haoran nodded and said briefly in his heart, fear makes me wait and see, but self-blame is pushing me forward. Growth is not about becoming a hero overnight, but learning to face this conflict. After the self-study, Xia Lan came over and handed him a new note. I had a lot of fun talking about dreams today. After sharing the pressure, it feels so good to have you, or a supporter by my side. Continue tomorrow? Haoran looked at the note, sweetness and self-blame intertwined. He smiled back, well, continue. After leaving the classroom, the lights of the campus came on. The students said goodbye to each other. Some shared snacks, some discussed homework, and small supports were embellished like stars. Haoran said to Lu Feng, Feng, I will try to talk to the teacher about Zhao Gang tomorrow. I can't hide anymore. Lu Feng pointed his thumb upward, my opponent. Love and justice are both on your way to growth. Come on. The wind blew, and Haoran felt that the midpoint in his heart had reached. The sweetness of secret love is turning to the test of reality, and the rhythm of youth is a little sour, but more real. Haoran was walking on the way home, and the afterglow of the setting sun cast long shadows on the asphalt road on campus. The trembling figure of the first-year high school boy in the toilet and Zhao Gang's proud laughter still echoed in his mind. Lu Feng's words were like a warm current, pushing him. Come on, Haoran. This is growth. But the self-blame in his heart was like a stone pressing on his chest, making his steps heavy. Why didn't you rush in then? That helpless look in his eyes was very similar to the humiliation he felt when he was pushed to the playground by Zhao Gang in his freshman year of high school. The sweetness of my secret love for Xia Lan was originally like the aroma of mango, but now it is mixed with sourness. He looked down at the note in his school bag. Xia Lan's handwriting was gentle. Continue tomorrow? He wanted to respond, but he didn't know where to start. At night, Haoran was lying on the bed, with only the blue light of the mobile phone screen in the room. He tossed and turned, with Xia Lan's smile and the bullying intertwined in his mind. The inner monologue emerged briefly. I can't escape anymore, but how can I speak? If I tell the teacher, will Zhao Gang retaliate? Or should we discuss it with Lu Feng first? He picked up his phone and sent a message to Lu Feng. Feng, come to school early tomorrow. I want to talk about Zhao Gang. Lu Feng replied instantly, okay. I'm waiting, buddy. Don't be afraid, let's carry it together. Haoran breathed a sigh of relief. Before turning off the light, he stared at the ceiling and thought, growth is not easy, there are always these tests. Perhaps, this is the rhythm of youth. Early the next morning, there was no one in the classroom. Haoran was sitting in his seat early, with his hands folded and his eyes staring at the mango tree outside the window. As soon as Lu Feng entered the door, he went straight to his desk, dropped his school bag, and asked in a low voice, Hey, you didn't sleep last night, okay? You look like you've lost your soul. Tell me about Zhao Gang, what did you see? Haoran took a deep breath and told everything about the scene in the toilet, from Zhao Gang's threats to the boy's pale face. As he spoke, his voice lowered. Feng, my legs got weak and I ran away. I felt so useless and like a coward. After hearing this, Lu Feng frowned and sat in the empty seat next to him, patting his shoulder. Hey, Haoran, it's the first time you've witnessed such a thing, who wouldn't panic? But if you blame yourself, it proves that you have justice in your heart. This is not a bad thing, it's a turning point. He paused. Suddenly, his blood surged, and his tone sounded like a speech, you know? Campus should be a place for everyone to have fun, not for people like Zhao Gang to run rampant. I remember when I was in junior high school, there was a bully in my class who specialized in grabbing snack money. I was afraid and hid for a few days, but then I couldn't help it when I saw him bullying a fat boy. I took my 2 buddies and went to the teacher to complain. The result? Haoran, the whole class was relieved. It's everyone's business to bear it alone. You stepped forward and not only saved the freshman, but also saved yourself. Think about how kind-hearted Xia Lan is. If you knew that Zhao Gang was doing this, wouldn't you want to be a hero in front of her? When Haoran listened to Lu Feng's words, the knot in his heart relaxed a little. He looked up at his friend's serious eyes and smiled bitterly. Hero? Feng, how can I have the courage? I am in my senior year of high school and I have a lot of academic pressure. What if there is a big problem and it affects the exam? But you are right, that boy, he needs help. I thought about it all night last night and decided to at least tell my tutor, Teacher Lin. She is super nice, and she even helped me adjust the speakers last time in the club. Lu Feng he smiled and gave him a fist bump. My opponent. Starting from small steps, this is growth. You used to be as introverted as a koala, but now you dare to pass notes to chase Xia Lan and face Zhao Gang. I see this progress in my eyes. Remember, campus justice is not a heroic drama, but ordinary high school students like us, guarding it bit by bit. Come on, have breakfast, I will treat you to drink soy milk to replenish your energy. The 2 of them got up and went to the canteen. On the way, Lu Feng was still muttering, Hey, that guy Zhao Gang has a big body but an empty head. I heard that he has loose control at home and puts all the pressure on others. But we can't imitate him and have to fight back with positive energy. Haoran, do you have a dream of photography? In the future, when you shoot campus stories, maybe start from this incident and turn it into an inspirational film. Haoran nodded, feeling that friendship was like a shot in the arm, which made him less hesitant. Back in the classroom, the morning self-study bell rang, and the students filed in. Xia Lan was as usual, carrying her school bag and smiling brightly. When she entered the door, her eyes swept over Haoran, nodded slightly, and then went to the drawer to get the note. Haoran's heartbeat accelerated, but the image of bullying still remained in his mind, and he was too distracted to notice the curiosity on her face. During morning self-study, Xia Lan lowered her head to write a reply and occasionally looked up at Haoran. He was immersed in taking notes, but his mind wandered, and the tip of his pen drew circles on the paper. Lu Feng kicked his chair from the back row and whispered, "Hey, concentrate. Don't let Zhao Gang ruin your good mood." Haoran regained consciousness and forced a smile. After class, Xia Lan suddenly turned around, walked to his desk, and handed over a pack of pineapple cakes. "Haoran, last night you said you should hide under the mango tree when you are stressed. This is what my mother made to relieve boredom. Thank you for listening to me share my dreams. I feel like I have a close friend in the class." Haoran took it, warmth came from his fingertips, and he said with a blush, "Thank you, thank you. Xia Lan, you are so kind. Everyone in the class is so harmonious, I feel very lucky." Xia Lan sat down, moved closer, and said in a light but serious tone, "Yes, harmony is the most important. Like in a club, everyone sings together and brainstorms posters, so there is no pressure. Recently I heard that a freshman in high school was bullied, which sounds so pitiful. I hate that kind of bullying. The class should support each other, not make people afraid. Haoran, what do you think? What would you do if you saw such a thing?" Her unintentional words were like a needle piercing Haoran's heart. He was stunned for a moment, looking into her clear eyes, and his heart was churning. She hates bullying, and she has such a strong sense of justice. How can I hesitate anymore? I will try to help. We can't let the campus become a jungle, there must be warmth." Xia Lan's eyes lit up and patted his arm, "Yes. Like your supporters, always share small blessings and give people strength. I hope there are more people like this in the class." She blinked and left, leaving Haoran sitting there, reflecting like a flood. Xia Lan's words gave him an invisible push, turning self-blame into determination. Growth turns out to be these interactions, little by little. At noon, Haoran was supposed to stuff the note, but he was distracted. The reply he drafted last night stopped halfway through writing, with Zhao Gang's shadow filling his mind. Finally, he simply wrote, "Your dream is great, I support you as a host. Eating pineapple cakes is a good way to deal with stress. I have been a little annoyed recently, but with you, sharing these, I am motivated. Keep playing. Your supporters." When he stuffed it into the drawer, his hands shook slightly, and he felt that this time the note was less sweet than before, and a little more heavy. In the afternoon class, Xia Lan frowned slightly after reading the note. She turned to look at Haoran, who was staring blankly at the blackboard. She whispered to the girl in the front row, "Why is the supporter's note so weird today? He seems to have something on his mind. I hope he is okay and needs to reply with someone who cares about him." During class, Xia Lan took the initiative to chat with Haoran, sat at his table, and handed over a small piece of paper. "Haoran, about the club poster, let's think about ideas together this afternoon. By the way, tell me, what kind of pressure have you been under recently? I see you are distracted." Haoran felt warm in his heart. Did she notice? But he didn't mention the bullying. He just said, "Well, I have something bothering me, but let's talk. See you in the club." Xia Lan nodded and said in a gentle tone, "Okay. Remember, friends are used to share worries. The class is harmonious and everyone supports each other." Her concern was like a summer breeze, blowing away Haoran's haze. He looked at her leaving back, and an inner monologue flashed through him. He couldn't let her down. Love and justice are pushing me forward. In the afternoon club, Haoran and Xia Lan were brainstorming storm posters together. Lu Feng was nearby to warm up, and the three of them laughed and laughed. Xia Lan suggested taking daily campus photos to capture the little happiness under the mango tree. She nodded with determination in her eyes. After the activity ended and he walked out of the classroom, Lu Feng pulled him. "Haoran, I saw you chatting happily with Xia Lan today, but you are still thinking about Zhao Gang, right? Are you going to see Teacher Lin this afternoon? Haoran clenched his fists. Well, go now. Thank you, Feng. And Xia Lan, her words made me reflect a lot. Lu Feng pointed his thumb upward. Go. This is your moment of bravery. Haoran walked towards the office. Although his steps were heavy, the determination in his heart was like a fire. The campus bell rang, students were running on the playground, and the youthful energy surrounded him. Pressure followed him everywhere, but the push of friendship and love allowed him to take steps step by step. As the sun set, the moment he opened the office door, he felt that the center of his heart had moved forward again. When Haoran opened the door of the office, Teacher Lin was correcting homework with his head down. The table was filled with test papers and club reports. She looked up and smiled slightly. Haoran. It's so late, are you okay? Have you thought of the idea for the club poster? Haoran swallowed, and the door closed gently behind him. He felt his heart beat like a drum, beating on his chest. The office was filled with the aroma of coffee. There were several boys playing football on the playground outside the window, and the sound of laughter could be heard faintly. He took a deep breath and decided to test it first. Teacher, I have something I want to say anonymously. Regarding some things in the class, I don't want people to know it's me. Teacher Lin put down her pen and her eyes became serious. She pushed up her glasses and motioned for him to sit down. Anonymous? No problem, Haoran. You know, I hate those dark things on campus. Tell me, what's the matter? Haoran sat on the chair, wrung his hands together, and described the scene in the toilet in a low voice. Zhao Gang blocked the freshmen, threatened to take photos, and demanded protection money. The boy's fear. He didn't mention what he had seen with his own eyes, he only said I heard. His voice was very low, as if he was afraid of being heard by the wall. Teacher Lin listened and frowned more and more. In the end, she patted the table and said, this kind of thing must not be tolerated. Zhao Gang was warned last time for pushing someone, but I didn't expect that he is still doing it. Haoran, thank you for telling me. I will investigate anonymously, talk to the freshmen in high school first, and then notify the guidance room. Don't worry, no one will be implicated. But the campus needs everyone to protect it, and you are already very brave by doing this. Haoran nodded. When he stood up, his legs were still a little weak, but the stone in his heart felt lighter. When he walked out of the office, the sunset had sunk into the horizon and the campus lights were on. He sent a message to Lu Feng. Feng, I told you. The teacher will take care of it. Lu Feng replied quickly, good job. This is the man, Haoran. See you tomorrow and continue chasing Xia Lan. Haoran smiled, and the note in his school bag was like a little secret, reminding him that he still has a sweet side. On the way home, Xia Lan's smile flashed in his mind. She hated bullying, and the justice in those eyes was like the sunshine under the mango tree, warm but firm. The next morning, the atmosphere in the classroom was a little strange. The incident about the freshmen in high school spread somehow. Some people whispered that Zhao Gang blocked people outside the club again last night. This time, he snatched the boy's cell phone and threatened not to delete the photos unless he paid back the money. As soon as Haoran entered the door, he saw Lu Feng waving from the back row. He walked over quickly, and Lu Feng leaned closer and whispered, Hey, did you hear? Zhao Gang has been upgraded. That kid Gao was crying and complaining to his friends last night, and his phone was seized. Teacher Lin hasn't done anything yet. Is your report last night effective? Haoran's heart sank. His bravery last night was now in vain. He clenched his fists. Damn it, I have to help. We can't let him bully him anymore. Lu Feng's eyes lit up and he patted him on the back. Yes. Anonymous reporting is the first step, now it's time to take action. Let's secretly help the kid get his phone back. I have an idea, go to the club warehouse at noon, where Zhao Gang often hangs out. Haoran, can I borrow the key to your photography club? Let's take a detour and eavesdrop. Haoran hesitated for half a second, but Lu Feng's passion was like a torch, igniting his determination. Okay, let's do it. But you can't do it forcefully, you have to be smart. The two high-fived, and Lu Feng laughed. This is like my buddy. Koala, from the inside you have grown so fast as Detective Haoran. Think of Xia Lan. If she knew, she would definitely adore you. Haoran blushed and didn't answer, but his heart changed like a tide. Before, he would only hide in the corner and take photos, but now he takes the initiative. It's a growing pain, but it's also sweet. After the morning self-study, the first class was the class meeting. Teacher Lin suddenly walked into the classroom with a serious expression. She cleared her throat. Students, today we are talking about campus harmony. I have heard some bad rumors recently. Some people were bullied, robbed, and threatened. This is not a trivial matter, it is bullying. The campus should be a happy place for everyone, not a jungle. If anyone has an idea, let us know. The classroom was quiet, and Zhao Gang lowered his head to play with his mobile phone in the back row, pretending to be fine. Xia Lan was the first to raise her hand. She stood up, her voice clear but angry. Teacher, I think bullying is very annoying. Who is not afraid of being blocked like a freshman in high school? Our class should support each other. In the club, everyone brainstorms storm posters and sings together. There is no such thing. Why would someone bully the weak? This not only hurts people, but also destroys the warmth of the campus. I suggest the class hold an anti-bullying activity, shoot a short video or share stories to let everyone know that justice is not a matter of one person. The whole class applauded, and Haoran stared at Xia Lan's profile. Her gestures were lively and her eyes were shining when she spoke. At that moment, his heartbeat was as sweet as mango juice. She was not only beautiful, but also so kind. In the past, he only dared to have a crush on her smile, but now he saw her sense of justice and fell deeper into it. Lu Feng poked him in a low voice. Are you stunned? Xia Lan's words are tailor-made for you. Act quickly and be her hero. Haoran nodded, and a short thought emerged in his heart. Yes, her words gave me a push. I can no longer be a bystander. After the class meeting, Xia Lan turned to Haoran and said, Haoran, you didn't raise your hand just now? What do you think? I'm so angry about the bullying. I hope that the freshman in high school is okay, and our class can be more warm and helpful. Haoran looked at her and mustered up the courage. Well, I agree. The campus needs to support each other as you said. Xia Lan, you are so kind, and you always think about the university. Home. She blinked and smiled. Thank you. Like your supporters, always sharing small blessings also gives me strength. Oh, by the way, is there a new note in the drawer? I returned it last night. I hope he is not troubled. Haoran's heart beat faster and he nodded quickly. Yes, there should be. In fact, he had written it last night, and this time he decided to show his sincerity. At noon, Haoran and Lu Feng slipped out of the classroom and went around to the club warehouse. Zhao Gang was still there, smoking against the wall. The freshman in high school was cornered by him, and his cell phone hadn't been returned yet. Zhao Gang said harshly, Boy, give me 50 yuan of protection money. Otherwise, if the photos are spread, you will not be able to survive on campus. The boy trembled. I have no money, please return the phone. Haoran hid in the corner. Lu Feng pulled him. Now. Sneak around and suck me. To attract attention, take your phone. Lu Feng suddenly shouted, Hey, Zhao Gang. The teacher is looking for you. Zhao Gang was stunned, and when he turned around, Haoran's heart was beating wildly. He rushed over and grabbed the phone on the ground, gave it to the boy, and whispered, Run. The boy was stunned, grabbed the phone and ran away. Zhao Gang turned around and roared, Who? But Lu Feng pulled Haoran and ran into the bushes, and the two ran back to the classroom out of breath. Feng, thank you. The boy was saved. Haoran wiped his sweat, excited but fearful. Lu Feng gasped and laughed. Teamwork. Haoran, your action just now was so cool. I give full marks to this transformation from a coward to an activist. Haoran smiled, and the confidence in his heart spread like wildfire. It turns out that bravery is not innate, it is built up by these small steps. In the afternoon class, he stuffed a note into a drawer and wrote, "Xia Lan, your class conversation moved me. I am also thinking about how to help with the bullying. Your kindness is like the mango tree on campus, always giving people shade. My trouble is to tell you, the supporters are actually very close, maybe right next to you. Guess who I am? Continue to share your dreams, I will always support you. A boy who wants to be brave." When Xia Lan took out the drawer, after reading the note, her eyes widened. She turned to stare at Haoran, her cheeks were slightly red, and she bit her lip excitedly. She whispered to the girl next to her, "Oh my God," he hinted. "Very close. Is it Haoran? Or Lu Feng? Wow, my heartbeat is so fast, I have to be brave to reply." She lowered her head to write a reply, and occasionally glanced at Haoran. He was drawing circles with his head lowered and did not notice her gaze. After class, she took the initiative to come over and handed over a bottle of mung bean soup. "Haoran, drink it on a hot day to relieve the heat. I think you have something on your mind after the class meeting. Let's find a solution together about bullying. I believe the campus will be better." Haoran took it, and the warmth came from her palm. He blushed and said, "Okay, let's go together. Xia Lan, I'm so lucky to have a classmate like you." She smiled brightly, "Yes. Like the boy in the note, he always surprises me. I hope he shows up soon, I have a lot to say." In the afternoon club, Xia Lan took Haoran to discuss the anti-bullying short film. She suggested using her mobile phone to shoot the warm moments on campus. Haoran nodded, and the action at noon flashed in his mind, "What a good idea. I can help shoot and capture those little mutual help." Lu Feng was busy beside him. Haoran is a master of photography, director Xia Lan, the trio is invincible. The three of them laughed, and Xia Lan suddenly approached Haoran. "Hey, you know?" The hint from the boy on the note made me guess a lesson. It feels so exciting, youth is like this, sweet suspense. Haoran's heart skipped a beat, and he forced a smile, yes, sweet and nervous. The setting sun shone into the clubroom, the shadow of the mango tree swayed, and Haoran's growth was like this light and shadow, gradually brightening. Zhao Gang's matter is not over yet, but the warmth of the campus has resolved some of the gloom. He looked at Xia Lan's smiling face and determined that the next turning point was not far away. The lights in the clubroom gradually dimmed, and Haoran put away his camera. The laughter of the trio still echoed in his ears. Xia Lan waved goodbye. "Haoran, Lu Feng, let's continue brainstorming short film ideas tomorrow. Anti-bullying things must be seen by the whole school." Lu Feng patted Haoran on the shoulder. "Yes, hero Haoran, see you on the playground tomorrow. Don't forget your plan for the note." Haoran smiled, picked up his school bag and walked out of the school gate. The night wind blew, mixed with the fragrance of the mango tree. He thought to himself, regarding Zhao Gang, anonymity and stealing mobile phones were just the beginning. The real turning point would have to be face-to-face. On the way home, he looked at the message Xia Lan had just sent on his phone. "The club is very happy, thank you for helping to take the photo." And his heartbeat accelerated again. Her hint was like a small seed that sprouted in the soil of his heart. The next morning, the sun was shining brightly on the campus, students were in groups on the playground, and the sound of basketballs hitting the ground was mixed with laughter. Haoran and Lu Feng chatted while walking. Before self-study, they made an appointment to go around the playground to see if there was any trace of Zhao Gang. "Feng, do you think Teacher Lin's investigation will explode today? The freshman's phone is back, so he won't be blocked anymore, right?" Haoran asked, with a bit of expectation in his voice. Lu Feng shook his head and bit into his breakfast bun. "Who knew, that guy is thick-skinned. Hey, look over there." He pointed to the basketball stand beside the playground. A group of boys formed a circle. Zhao Gang stood in the middle, and the freshman was blocked again. This time it was not a hidden place in the warehouse, but an open playground. Zhao Gang grabbed the boy's collar with one hand and shook his phone with the other hand. The flash of the photo was still on the screen. "Boy, who helped you yesterday? Do you think that's the end of it if you steal your phone back?" Increase the price today, 100 yuan, otherwise all these photos will be spread and you will be embarrassed in the club. Xiao Gang's voice was rude, like a wild dog growling. Several followers around him were giggling, and the students passing by on the playground avoided each other, not daring to look more. Haoran's heart instantly sank to the bottom. The boy's face was pale and his eyes were red and swollen. The fear from yesterday had not gone away, and it came again today. He clenched his fists, and the words of Xia Lan's class meeting flashed through his mind: the campus needs to support each other, and justice is not a matter of one person. A short thought emerged in his heart: he could no longer hide, and he had to stand up publicly this time. Lu Feng pulled his sleeve. Haoran, come on. Otherwise, that kid is doomed. Haoran took a deep breath, stepped forward, and shouted, Xiao Gang. Stop. You are bullying, the whole school is watching. The voice was not loud, but like pebbles thrown into the lake, eyes on the playground turned around. Xiao Gang was stunned, loosened his collar, and turned to glare at him. Who are you? Meddling in other people's business? Get out of here, or I'll take care of you too. The followers surrounded him, and the atmosphere became tense. Haoran did not retreat, but stood firm. He looked at the freshman and whispered, Don't be afraid, I'll help you. Then he turned to Xiao Gang and raised his voice. You snatched the phone and took photos and threatened. This is not a joke, it's a crime. Teacher Lin already knew that, and the guidance room of the freshmen in high school has also investigated. Do you think no one dares to say it? Wrong, our class and the entire campus hate this kind of thing. The surrounding students began to whisper, and some people took out their mobile phones to record. Lu Feng rushed forward and stood next to Haoran. Yes. Xiao Gang, you bully others because of your big body? Our photography club and music club all support Haoran. Let that kid go, or we will all go to the teacher together. His blood was like fire, igniting several boys passing by. One of them was a basketball player from the next class, and he loudly echoed, Hey, Xiao Gang, that's enough. The playground is not your backyard. At this time, Xia Lan ran from the teaching building. She happened to pass by the playground and her eyes widened when she saw this scene. She squeezed into the crowd and went straight to Haoran. Haoran. You, Xiao Gang, you are going too far. I said at the class meeting yesterday that bullying destroys the warmth of the campus. If you do this, everyone will only isolate you. Her voice was clear, angry, but firm. The surrounding girls followed suit, and someone shouted, Xia Lan is right. Our girls' club also fights against bullying. Xiao Gang, please reflect on it. More and more people gathered on the playground, with more than a dozen classmates joining the support circle. Haoran felt a warm current welling up in his heart. Xiao Gang's face turned from angry red to livid. He glanced at everyone and his cell phone turned white. You, a bunch of nosy people. This guy owes me money. I just want it back. But his voice weakened, and the followers began to back away, not daring to push forward. The freshman in high school wiped his tears and murmured, Thank you. I don't owe money, he is just bullying me. Haoran stepped forward and patted him on the shoulder. Go to the guidance room and tell him clearly, Teacher Lin will delete the photos for you. Xiao Gang, if you are a real man, don't live by threats. Try to be like our club, make short films, organize events, and contribute some positive energy. Xiao Gang glared at him, but didn't do anything. He just dropped his phone and smashed it on the ground. The sound of a broken screen sounded, and he growled, You're cruel. This is not over. But he turned and walked away, and his followers followed, and a burst of applause and cheers broke out on the playground. Xia Lan turned to look at Haoran, her eyes shining. Haoran, you are so brave. I was dumbfounded for standing up like that just now. I didn't expect you to have such a sense of justice. Lu Feng laughed loudly and hugged Haoran's neck. Brother, you are so handsome. From a paper boy to a playground hero, this growth rate cannot be matched by Taiwanese idol dramas. After the incident was resolved, the students on the playground dispersed, but there was constant discussion. The freshmen in high school held Haoran's hand tightly. Brother, thank you. If it weren't for you, I really don't know what I would do. Those photos are scary. Haoran shook his head and smiled. It's all thanks to our collective efforts. Go to the club to see us and tell us if you have anything. Other students also came up. A female the student handed over a water bottle. Haoran, Xia Lan, you are awesome. There will be an anti-bullying activity in the class in the future. I will sign up. Lu Feng excitedly directed, yes. The first scene of the short film was shot at this moment. Youthful and positive energy, full marks. Haoran looked at all this, and the confidence in his heart blossomed like a firecracker. In the past, he was always introverted, hiding behind the camera. Now, he stands up, not only for the new life, but also for his own growth. Short inner monologue, this feels so good. Like a ripe mango, all the sweetness and sourness come out. When I returned to the classroom at noon, the atmosphere was lively. Everyone was passing around the video. Xiao Gang sat in the back row with his head down, and no one paid attention to him. Xia Lan pulled Haoran to the window and whispered, Haoran, those words you said on the playground made my heart beat faster. The boy who wants to be brave in the note, could it be you? Your sense of justice is as I guessed, and it is perfect. She blinked, her cheeks were slightly red, and she directly handed over a small note, which read, you guessed it. Tell me this afternoon from the club. My secret, I like brave and kind boys. Heart beat the girl. Haoran took it, and there was a buzz in his head, and his ears were red. Xia Lan, I. He hesitated, but smiled, maybe. Your support is the source of my courage. She chuckled and touched his arm, then prove it to me. Let's make the campus better together, how about it? Lu Feng eavesdropped and gave a thumbs up, sweet. Haoran, you are so successful with this operation. During the afternoon break, Teacher Lin walked into the classroom and praised him by name. I heard that someone stood up and fought against bullying on the playground. Although I didn't see it with my own eyes, everyone should imitate this spirit. Xiao Gang, classmates, give you a chance to reflect, okay? Xiao Gang lowered his head and murmured, well. Teacher, I was wrong. There was gentle applause in the classroom, not mocking, but encouraging. Haoran looked at this scene and thought, it turns out that justice is not about defeating anyone, but about letting everyone move forward together. After school, in the clubroom, Xia Lan and Haoran were editing short film materials side by side. She occasionally came closer and smelled the fragrance. Haoran, thank you. After today, I feel that the campus is a lot brighter. Your growth makes me so proud. Haoran turned his head. Met her eyes. With you, I dare to change. Xia Lan, this is just the beginning. The setting sun shone through the window again, the shadow of the mango tree lengthened, and in the laughter of the trio, Zhao Gang's haze gradually dissipated, and the positive energy of youth came in like a tide. Haoran knew that the next turning point, the moment of confession, was close at hand. The air in the clubroom was still filled with the aroma of coffee from the editing just now. Xia Lan's fingers tapped on the keyboard, and the rough-cut version of the short film slowly played on the screen. It was a clip of the playground incident. Haoran's standing figure was frozen in the camera. The background music was a light guitar tune that Lu Feng found temporarily, with the subtitle Brave, starts from here. She turned to look at Haoran, her eyes turned into crescent moons. Haoran, this cut is so touching. Your expression, from nervousness to firmness, is like the halo of the protagonist. Hey, do you want to officially join the photography club? We are short of a member with a story like you. Her tone was brisk and a little expectant, as if she was sharing a piece of mango cake, a sweet temptation. Haoran was stunned, and the mouse in his hand stopped. He was just helping with the padding, but he never thought he would be pulled into the core. A trace of hesitation flashed through her heart. Joining the club means more time with her and more opportunities to get closer to her heart. But he smiled and nodded, okay, Xia Lan. Anyway, I have nothing to do with my camera. After joining, the first project was this anti-bullying short film, so that the whole school can see the positive energy of today. Lu Feng jumped up from the sofa next to him, clapped his hands and laughed, wow, Haoran, your transformation is so fast. from a shy guy passing notes under the desk, to a new star in the club. "Brother, I'm here for you. Proud. Come, celebrate, friendship wins." He took out 3 packs of snacks from his school bag, salted chicken-flavored potato chips and 2 bottles of milk, and distributed them to everyone, while chewing and teasing, "Remember when you had a crush on Xia Lan and you didn't dare to look up at her now?" The playground hero and note master are simply a campus legend. "Xia Lan, do you think Haoran should be rewarded for his growth?" Xia Lan chuckled, took the potato chips, and touched Haoran lightly with her shoulder. "Lu Feng, you are so arrogant. But Haoran has really changed a lot. In the past, you always sat quietly in the corner, taking pictures of the scenery, but now you stand up and help others. To be honest, before I joined the photography club, I was as introverted as you. In my sophomore year of high school, I witnessed an incident. The first time I was bullied was when a girl in the next class was rumored to be involved in a scandal, and she ran out of the classroom crying. I wanted to help, but I was afraid of being implicated, so I only dared to post anonymously on the campus forum. Nothing changed. I regretted it for a long time." She paused and looked out the window, where the leaves of the mango tree were swaying in the sunset. "After that time, I decided to become braver, join clubs and hold class meetings, just to make the campus less gloomy. Seeing you stand up today, I suddenly thought of that girl, who later transferred to another school. But maybe, short films like ours can help more people change." As Haoran listened, a warm current surged in his heart. It turns out that Xia Lan also had such a past. She was not born so cheerful, but had experienced struggles. This unexpected memory, like a door, opened the distance between them. He said softly, "Xia Lan, thank you for sharing. I have also, actually noticed you since the first year of high school. At that time, the class held a freshman orientation, and you sang on the stage. Your smile was like mango ice in summer, so sweet that you can't forget your troubles. But I always hid in the back row, taking pictures of your profile, but dared not speak. I have been secretly in love for 2 years, sour, like an unripe mango, which shrinks back after one bite." As he spoke, his face became slightly hot, but his voice was steady and no longer hesitant. Lu Feng pretended to wipe away tears at the side. "Oh, Haoran, are you warming up to your confession? Keep going, I will act as a light bulb to buy drinks." He blinked and slipped out, leaving the two of them alone. Xia Lan turned around, put her hands on her chin, and stared at Haoran. 2 years? Oh my God, why didn't I notice? Those desk notes were written by you, right? Starting from "I want to be a brave boy," and then sharing hints about the playground. I guessed it, right? I can recognize your handwriting. It is always so neat and as delicate as your photos. She came closer. The aroma was a light citrus smell, and the sound of basketball on the playground could be heard outside the classroom, mixed with the hawking in the distance. "Haoran, I like that feeling, like playing hide and seek, but hiding the sincerity. Tell me, where did your secret love story begin?" Haoran took a deep breath and decided not to hide anymore. Isn't the trajectory of growth, from introversion to bravery, just for this moment? He took out the old photo album from his school bag and opened the first page, the school anniversary photo of the first year of high school. Xia Lan was on the stage, with Haoran's blurry shadow in the background. "From here. I remember that day, you wore a white skirt and sang Daoxiang, and the whole place was quiet. I thought to myself, this girl is not only beautiful, but also makes people feel that there is hope on campus. But what about me? After returning home, I only dared to write in my diary and then tear it up. Later, Lu Feng, old man, I passed the note anonymously. I didn't expect that it would involve Zhao Gang and make me really stand up." He closed the photo album and met her eyes. "Xia Lan, the identity of those notes is me. I am not a hero, I just want to get closer to you and become better." Xia Lan's eyes lit up, and she gently held his hand, her palms warm. "Haoran, I'm so happy." It turns out that heart-beating girl replied was right. "My secret is not only to like brave boys, but also to like you who can share stories. Remember the first semester of high school? In class, the teacher asked you to answer a question. You blushed and made a mistake. Everyone laughed, but you lowered your head and drew a little cartoon for Lu Feng. I took a peek and saw a girl laughing under the mango tree. Now that I think about it, it was probably me, right? She laughed, a little playfully. Haoran recalled that class. The smell of chalk dust in the classroom and the snickers of his classmates suddenly became friendly. Yes, it's you. I drew that tree because there's an old mango tree at the back door of the campus. Every time I see it, I think of your smile. Who knows, now we are editing a short film together, and the tree's shadow is still outside the window. Lu Feng's shout came from outside the door, "Hey, you two, don't be too sweet. The milk is here, strawberry flavor, exclusive to Xia Lan." He pushed the door in and the three of them got into a fuss again. Lu Feng passed the drink and said while drinking, "Haoran, this step of revealing your identity is so cool. In the past, when you passed the note, I was worried that you would be found out and embarrassed, but now, friendship has won, and love is coming soon. That guy Zhao Gang, I heard that the guidance room asked him to talk, and he probably has to write a self-reflection. Positive energy on campus, full marks." Haoran smiled and took the milk, clinking glasses. "Feng, thank you for always pushing me. Without you, I would still be invisible in the corner." Xia Lan nodded. "Yes, the three of us are simply the best partners. In class tomorrow, there will be another quiz in math. Haoran, don't be distracted by drawing comics." The next morning, the classroom desks were filled with sunlight, and amidst the hustle and bustle of morning self-study, everyone was still discussing the preview of yesterday's short film. Zhao Gang sat in the back row, lowering his head to do his homework. Occasionally he looked up at Haoran, his eyes no longer fierce, but a little embarrassed. In math class, Teacher Lin was writing equations on the blackboard. Haoran and Xia Lan were sitting in the front row. She whispered a note, "Can't solve the equation? Let me lend you my notes. Remember, bravery not only fights against bullying, but also includes exams." Haoran wrote back, "Ha, thank you. Your handwriting is much prettier than mine." Lu Feng poked him from behind, "Hey, don't flirt in class. The teacher is looking over here." The three of them suppressed their laughter. Teacher Lin turned around and pretended to be serious. "Lu Feng, are you making trouble again? Pay attention. The anti-bullying spirit can also be used in studies." The classroom burst into laughter, and Zhao Gang couldn't help but raise the corners of his mouth, making the atmosphere much more relaxed. During the lunch break, the three of them sneaked under the mango tree next to the playground and ate lunch. Xia Lan took a bite of the rice ball and said, "Haoran, after joining the club, we can take more pictures of daily life on campus. A tree like this has witnessed so many stories." Haoran nodded, looking at the shadow of the tree. The secret love process in his heart unfolded like a picture scroll, from the hesitant note, to the brave step forward, and now the confession. Growth doesn't happen overnight, it's the accumulation of these small interactions. He turned to Xia Lan and said, "Well, the story continues. Xia Lan, with you, the campus becomes brighter." She smiled and touched his arm, "Then let's write it down together. In the afternoon club, let's brainstorm the confession plot." "Are you kidding? Maybe not." Lu Feng coughed, "Ahem, I heard it." "Haoran, the opportunity has come, don't miss it." As the sun set, the laughter on the playground continued, and Haoran knew that the real climax of confession was quietly approaching in these sweet daily moments. The setting sun lengthened the shadow of the mango tree. The three of them were eating lunch and chatting about the club. Lu Feng suddenly slapped his thigh. "Hey, Haoran, Xia Lan, the club won't just be editing short films this afternoon. Let's do some practical exercises and plan a class activity. Anti-bullying short film preview, add some interactive games by the way, so that everyone can share the moment of bravery. I will be the host, and it will be exciting." His eyes were shining, and he gestured like a temporary director. Xia Lan swallowed the rice ball and nodded in agreement. What a good idea. The atmosphere of the last class meeting was too boring. "Let's add games this time, maybe we can get that guy Zhao Gang to reflect too. Haoran, how about you take a photo and record it?" Haoran looked at her expectant eyes. and his heartbeat accelerated slightly. The feeling of growth was accumulated in these small decisions, and he smiled. Okay, I will be in charge of the camera. Lu Feng, thank God if you don't turn the event into your crosstalk show. Lu Feng pretended to be aggrieved. Ouch, brother, you don't trust me? We'll see, I'll give you a chance to confess. When club time came in the afternoon, the photography club classroom was crowded with seconded classmates, and the air smelled of potato chips and soda. Lu Feng stood in front of the makeshift blackboard, put on a baseball cap he picked up somewhere, and pretended to clear his throat. Everyone, welcome to the Brave Campus sharing session. First watch the short video preview of Haoran and Xia Lan, and then play a game. Everyone draws cards to share a moment that changed themselves. Those who draw special cards will be surprised. He blinked and scanned the audience. Haoran was sitting in the back row, holding a camera, his palms slightly sweaty. Xia Lan was next to him and whispered, nervous? Relax, your short film is great. Her shoulder touched him lightly, and the citrus aroma wafted over again, reminding Haoran of the secrets of those desk notes. Although I partially confessed yesterday, there is still one step left to make a formal confession. An inner monologue flashed through. I can no longer hesitate. From an introverted corner boy to a member of the club now, this is proof of growth. When the short video played, the audience fell silent. On the screen, the scene of the playground switched. Haoran stood up to fight against Zhao Gang. The students gathered around, and the background music became lively. The subtitles flashed, "Be brave, start with small things," which attracted bursts of applause. Zhao Gang sat in the corner with his hands folded on his chest, but his eyes were not as fierce as before, more of embarrassment. When the film ended, Lu Feng jumped up and said, "Wow, are you excited? It's game time. Who comes first?" He drew cards from the box and distributed them to everyone. When it was Xia Lan's turn, she drew a card of share heartwarming moments and said with a smile, "My bravery came from joining the club in the second year of high school. I witnessed bullying at that time and regretted not helping. Later, I held a class meeting and just wanted to change. Heartwarming? Well, I recently discovered that there is a boy beside me who has been quietly supporting me since the note," she said, turning to look at Haoran, with a crescent-like smile in her eyes. The whole audience cheered. "Who is it? Say it." Haoran's heart beat like a drum. Lu Feng winked in the audience. "Come on, buddy." Haoran took a deep breath and stood up. The card in his hand was the special confession card secretly stuffed by Lu Feng. With all eyes on him, he felt like he was in the spotlight, but this time, it wasn't an escape. "Xia Lan, my moment started in the first year of high school. On the school anniversary, you sang Dao Xiang, and I hid in the back row to take photos. I thought, this girl lights up the campus. But I am introverted and never dare to say it. 2 years of secret love, like the shadow under the mango tree, sweet and sour. Those desk notes I passed around, from thinking brave boy came to share the things on the playground, it's all me. I'm not a hero, I just want to get closer to you and become better. Xia Lan, I like you, it's not just your class beauty smile, it's your kindness and bravery that made me come out of the corner." After saying this, the classroom was silent for 2 seconds, and then screams and applause broke out. Lu Feng shouted, "Haoran yo! This is the king of growth!" Haoran's face was hot, but her eyes were steady on Xia Lan. She stood up, her cheeks were slightly red, and she said softly, "Haoran, when I guessed that it was your note, my heart moved. Those replies are like a hide-and-seek game, hidden in my heart. I also like you. From the moment you stood up, I felt that you were not just a photography boy, but you were my hero. Let's continue writing the story together, okay?" She came over and held his hand, her palms as warm as the summer sun. The whole audience roared, and some people threw paper balls to celebrate. Lu Feng rushed to the stage and hugged the two of them. Friendship and love, full marks. "Haoran, from being a shy guy passing notes to now openly confessing, your arc is so inspiring." Haoran shook Xia Lan's hand back, and felt a sense of satisfaction in his heart. Growth is not a drama of a great hero, but the accumulation of these interactions step by step. Memories came flooding back. In the math class in the first year of high school, he drew cartoons for Lu Feng, and the moment Xia Lan took a peek, the notes under the desk, exchanging thoughts, were like secret mango ice, so sweet that it melted hesitation. The confrontation with Zhao Gang on the playground, her firm eyes that joined in the containment. Now, everything connects. Just when the atmosphere was high, Zhao Gang suddenly stood up, holding a card in his hand, and said in a muffled voice, "Wait a minute, I will share it too." I used to think that being overbearing was cool, grabbing mobile phones, blocking people, and feeling like the boss. But that day on the playground, when I was surrounded by everyone, I realized that I was wrong. Lin from the counseling office, the teacher, asked me to write a review, and I thought about it for a long time. "Haoran, I blocked you that day because the video made me embarrassed, but you stood up, not for revenge, but for justice." I apologized. The campus should be more harmonious, and I will not bully people again. The audience was stunned and then applauded. Xia Lan nodded. "Zhao Gang, thank you for saying it. This is bravery." Lu Feng patted him on the shoulder. "Brother, the change is good. Come, let's play games together." Zhao Gang smiled awkwardly and sat back, but his eyes were much more relaxed. Haoran looked at this scene and thought, it turns out that growth is not just about individuals, but even villains can change. The air on campus seems to be fresher, and the sun shines in through the windows, illuminating every face. The activity continued, and everyone took turns to share. Some said they were brave in exams, and some mentioned interesting stories about the club. Xia Lan and Haoran sat back down, and she whispered, "Remember the first note? Today's sky is as blue as your eyes." I replied, "Brave boy, try to stand up." Unexpectedly, "You have really done it now." Haoran smiled. "Yes, I still thought about it at that time. I hesitated for a long time before I stuffed it in." Lu Feng also laughed at me and said, "Hey, I am the best strategist." Now, the class is harmonious, the short film preview is successful, Zhao Gang apologizes, and love blossoms. Isn't this what youth is like? The three of them bumped fists and laughed. Teacher Lin opened the door and came in. When he heard the end, he smiled and said, "The activity is good. The anti-bullying spirit can be used in daily life." Haoran, Xia Lan, after the short film is edited, it will be broadcast to the whole school. Zhao Gang, keep it up. Zhao Gang nodded, and the atmosphere in the classroom was warm and homey. After the event, the three of them packed up their props. Xia Lan took Haoran's hand and walked to the mango tree. As the setting sun fell, she said, "Haoran, today's confession is like the ending of a short film, but our relationship is still going on. Thank you for letting me see the bravery of an introverted boy." Haoran nodded, with a surge of heartbeat. "With you and Lu Feng, the campus is complete. Let's pass notes in class tomorrow. This time, we won't be anonymous." Lu Feng shouted from behind, "Hey, don't leave me. The trio will never break up." The laughter in the playground continued, and the night became darker. Haoran knew that this sweet turn was leading to a brighter tomorrow. The night is dark, the leaves of the mango trees rustle in the breeze, and the lights on the playground cast long shadows. Haoran held Xia Lan's hand, and the warmth in his palm made him feel that the whole world was stable. Lu Feng caught up from behind, hooked Haoran's shoulders, gasped and said with a smile, "You two are walking too fast. Do you think I can't keep up? The trio will never break up." Xia Lan turned her head, the moonlight reflected on her face. It was like the scene in the short video. She giggled, "Lu Feng, are you exhausted from being a host? Why don't you come for a late-night snack before going home? There is an oyster omelette stall near my home. It's super delicious." Lu Feng's eyes lit up. "Okay. Haoran, you're going to treat me to a treat to celebrate the success of the confession." Haoran shook his head and smiled, feeling warm in his heart. From being a corner boy in the first year of high school to being teased about love by his friends, he was finally able to respond generously, "Okay, but it's your turn next time. Let's go, don't let Xia Lan starve." The three of them walked side by side towards the school gate, and the laughter echoed in the night sky, as if the noise on the campus had never stopped. The next morning, the sunshine in the classroom filled the desks. Haoran arrived at school early with an extra photo album in his backpack. He sat in his seat and secretly glanced at Xia Lan. She was chatting with her classmates about the club. Her hair was tied into a ponytail and she was full of energy. Lu Feng sat down, leaned over and whispered, "Brother, did you enjoy your late-night snack last night? Are you sending a note today? Remember, it's not an anonymous version." Haoran smiled and took out a note from the drawer, which read, "Good morning, Xia Lan. The sky today is as blue as your eyes. Last night's oyster omelette was not as sweet as your smile. Haoran." He hesitated for half a second, and then stuffed it into her drawer. When Xia Lan came, the first thing she did was to open it. After reading it, she turned around and blinked. "Haoran, this note is much bolder than before. Let me reply to you, brave boy, let's have mango ice for lunch." The whole class was still reading in the morning. Haoran nodded, his face slightly red, but his eyes were shining with confidence. Lu Feng snickered beside him, "Look, love blossoms and friendship is blessed. Will that guy Zhao Gang join the chat today?" Sure enough, during a break in class, Zhao Gang came over, holding a bottle of sports drink in his hand, looking much more low-key than before. He patted Haoran's desk. "Hey, Haoran, thank you for yesterday's activity. I went home and watched the short video again. Teacher Lin said it was broadcast to the whole school. Can I help move the equipment? I don't want to be a bad example again." Haoran was stunned for a moment, then nodded. "Okay, Zhao Gang. Come together, the club is short of strong men." Zhao Gang grinned, showing a hint of embarrassment. "Okay, from now on I will protect the weak and stop bullying." "Man, Xia Lan, your heartfelt sharing was very inspiring." Xia Lan smiled. "Thank you for your apology, we are all the same students. Come, join our trio?" Lu Feng is short of people. Lu Feng pretended to exclaim, "Oh, expansion? Welcome. But don't take my host position." The atmosphere in the classroom became more relaxed. Zhao Gang sat back, but he was no longer alone, and several classmates took the initiative to talk to him about basketball. Haoran saw it and thought, it turns out that justice is not just about confrontation, it can also bring people to shore. The class is like a big mango tree, the branches and leaves are becoming more and more dense. During lunchtime, the three of them and Zhao Gang huddled under the mango tree. Xia Lan shared the mango ice, and the cool and sweet taste melted on the tip of her tongue. Lu Feng took a big bite. "This is called youth. Haoran, how much have you changed from a spy who passed anonymous notes to a public display of affection now?" Haoran scooped a spoonful and handed it to Xia Lan, and said with a smile, "Changed? Well, I have been hiding in the back row to take photos of you since I was a freshman in high school, afraid of being discovered. Now I dare to stand up. I have been secretly in love for 2 years, and it is as sweet as a green mango. Zhao Gang, how about your change?" Zhao Gang wiped his mouth and said seriously, "I used to think that being bossy was good for a while. But that night in the tutoring room, I woke up when Teacher Lin asked me, 'What kind of graduate do you want to be?' Great. After our short film is broadcast, the whole school will learn it. Haoran, your lens captured that brave moment, it's great." Haoran held her hand tightly, and his inner monologue flashed briefly. Growth is from hesitation to action, from one person to everyone. Afternoon club, school-wide broadcast day is coming. The auditorium was packed with students, and Teacher Lin took the stage to introduce. This is an anti-bullying short film for Class 1, Senior Grade 1, created by Haoran, Xia Lan, and Lu Feng. Bravery begins on campus. The lights dimmed and the screen came on, a close-up of the note on the desk, the tension of the confrontation in the playground, and the sincerity of Zhao Gang's apology. The background music was a Taiwanese folk tune, light and inspiring. The screen cut to a clip of Haoran's confession. The whole audience was booing. Xia Lan leaned on his shoulder and whispered, "Look, everyone is applauding us." Lu Feng waved in the audience, and Zhao Gang helped hand over the microphone, his face full of pride. The ending subtitles, "Thank you to everyone who is brave," which attracted thunderous applause. Teacher Lin went on to say, classmate Zhao Gang's sharing will also be published anonymously in the school magazine. The warmth of the campus depends on everyone's mutual help. After the class, the classmates gathered around and someone patted Haoran on the back. "You have turned into a hero from within." Someone pulled Xia Lan and said, "The class beauty is in love, congratulations." Lu Feng shouted, "The trio is upgraded to a 4-person alliance." "Xiao Gang, celebrate at KTV tonight?" Xiao Gang laughed, "Let's go." "But I sing Daoxiang to commemorate the transformation." The days are passing by, and the end of the senior year of high school is approaching. 1 week before graduation, the class held a small graduation trip. Haoran and Xia Lan walked hand in hand on the beach in Kenting, with the waves crashing on the shore and the sunset dyeing the sea red. Lu Feng and Zhao Gang chased after each other, throwing beach balls and laughing non-stop. Xia Lan stopped and turned to look at Haoran. "Do you remember the first note? I want to be a brave boy." "Now, you are not only brave, but also confident. In the future, shall we take the National Taiwan University exam together? Or go traveling and make more short films?" Haoran hugged her, the wind ruffled his hair. "Yeah, together. The days of secret love, like waves of waves, pushed me forward. Bullying made me understand that justice is not empty talk, but a daily matter." "Xia Lan, thank you for answering those notes and letting me walk out of the corner." "Me too. Your bravery is infectious to everyone. Lu Feng's passion and Zhao Gang's transformation make this campus feel like home." Lu Feng ran over and gasped, "Hey, have you two been romantic enough? Xiao Gang is barbecuing, waiting for you." Xiao Gang waved the shovel. "Haoran, come and help. I used to only grab, but now I learn to share." The 4 of them sat around the campfire, roasting corn and chicken wings, and talked about the future. Haoran wanted to be a documentary director and record more youth stories. Gangjin said, "I am taking the physical education department, working as a basketball coach, and teaching children fair play." The stars in the night sky twinkled, and Lu Feng raised a glass of soda. "Here's to youth. Sweet and sour, heartwarming, righteous and inspiring, from the note to the seaside, we have all grown up." Haoran looked at everyone, and his heart filled with satisfaction, from the shy boy with a crush to the confident young man he is now. Along the way, friendship has been as deep as the roots of a mango tree, love is as bright as the sun, and justice is like the waves that never fade. On graduation day, the auditorium was filled with flowers and tears. Haoran was wearing a bachelor's uniform and stood next to Xia Lan, while Lu Feng and Zhao Gang were in the back row. The principal gave a speech. "Campus is the starting point, face the future bravely." Teacher Lin came to the stage and praised by name, "The anti-bullying actions of Class 1, Grade 3 are worthy of learning by the whole school." "Haoran, Xia Lan, your short film will remain in school history forever." The audience applauded, and Haoran took Xia Lan's hand and whispered, "Our story continues from here." She nodded, with moist eyes, "It will never end." After the ceremony, the 4 of them took a photo under the mango tree. Lu Feng shouted, "Friendship lasts forever, love lasts, and justice lasts." Xiao Gang smiled, "Thank you for giving me a hand." Haoran looked into the distance and thought, the sweetness and sourness of youth is not an end, but an inspiration. From the secret of the note on the desk to the warm mutual help on campus, this growth has made him ready to embrace tomorrow. The sea breeze blows, bringing the breath of new life. They waved goodbye, but they knew that this was not the end, but a more beautiful beginning.